You know, we talked about a slow start the last couple of weeks and really came out of the gates just like we hoped. You know, we had a big play out of the defense, and then the offense had a little trick play that we've been working on and got that. Got the field goal to go up 10-0 and really was feeling good. And I can't remember, I don't have it in front of me, so I can't really speculate, but it seemed like every drive we had after that, we had some kind of penalty. And, you know, we did not have Max available tonight. Thought we might get him back by the end of the week. He tweaked himself a little bit and just never could get well. You know, good news is we thought we were going to have him next week, and it was a game time decision with him. We wanted to see him come out there and warm up. Would have still started with Eli, but we would have had Max available, and he just didn't think he could go. So probably limited us a little bit. Kyle came in and really did a good job for us when we needed him. Thought the defense played outstanding. May have wore down a little bit there at the end, but really had a great night. Special teams was obviously outstanding with Griffin doing the things he did. You know, and if we could just kept them out of the end zone at the end, we wouldn't have ended up in overtime when we did, but we didn't. And had to fight through that, and we made it. So here we are.
Just talk a little more about Griffin, the value of having a great kicker. Just talk about that.
Well, that's one thing we do. You know, and I've been someplace where we didn't. I've been some. You know, when I've been in charge of it, we've always started with PAT field goal every day, and every day we spend a 5-minute period on that, and he's just getting better and better. I mean, he's been a good kicker for us, but I tell you, the last, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday this week, we move it all around. You know, we'll do some 2-point plays and some fakes and things like that, but it's about a 3-minute period of kicking, and he hit every kick and ended up hitting about a 55, 56 yard. I've never seen him hit it like that. It would have been probably good from 60-something. So he has just been outstanding. His demeanor is the same. Had when DeMarcus went down, it messed us up at wing with, and that's when we ended up with a sub right there. But as far as the field goal unit was good, great snap, hold by Dalton Screws, and then of course the kick. So all that whole battery that works together is important. But, you know, great job. That's Andrew Dean, the snapper. So. Good job protection, good job snap, hold, kick, and it was a big night for him, obviously.
Coach, I was asked the players about if there was any decisions, you know, thinking about possibly going for it on 4th and 1. Having the luxury of the kicker, did that make it a little more leaning towards kicking the field goal, or?
Yeah, and I think the competitor in you, you know, and that's why I was asking for a measurement that I never got. I really want to see how, I mean, if it was this, I don't know what this, or, you know, I mean, I don't really know how far that is, but I really want to know how close. We have a true jumbo set that we had not shown that we feel really good about. And then both of the running backs were out. And the smart play was to kick it, and that's what we did, thank God. And you know, granted, he's been money, so you feel good about your kicker. But we put it in the defense's hands, they did it, and so worked out in the end.
Both of the backs out, talking about DeMarcus and Pope, right?
Yeah, they
early early in the game, and then Pope when he went it down.
It hurt us, you know. I mean, we lost that 1-2 punch, and of course Miles is coming on. But when you lost one of those guys, then you lose that rest component, you know. And I think that, I mean, you know, you're talking about an all preseason conference pick is gone, and so you know we don't ever get him back the rest of the game. And that was early. So that hurt us, and then right there in the last series, you know, Buster got slammed down, so he was going to be out. If we, I don't know what we're doing. We may have been in the empty the rest of the overtime.
What prompted the gadget play? Why was that the good thing to call at that time? And,
About early in the game.
Yeah, early.
They were very aggressive. You know, we thought even if it didn't work, we would back their secondary off. And you know, these are the plays. You know, I alluded to this at Alabama State. We spend basically the whole week running this opening script, and we'll tweak it a little bit, but it's something we spend a lot of time on. All the coaches get input, but we knew we wanted to put something in that took advantage of the secondary that was, obviously if you looked at both their safeties, they looked like 2 NFL safeties, so very aggressive, and it just really worked out good. And of course, obviously, you know, Marquise went out early, which was another blow, because, you know, he's coming into them. So, you know, of course, injuries sometimes happen in the game, but they probably didn't help us any.
I mean, it was a scary issue with
It was.
him. What was it, and what did it end
You know,
up
I have
being?
not heard and I'll be totally honest, I've never heard any prognosis other than that he was okay with wasn't going to be brought back in the game, you know. I was just hoping it was his wind knocked out, but, you know, I never got an exact prognosis.
When you looked at it, we talked about it upstairs, and I don't know if you're looking at it like you just can't see it until the replay, but as it's happening, do you look at that as maybe, hey, this is an incident of that launching penalty?
I mean, that was questionable to me, to be honest with you, but at the same time, I couldn't tell because it was such a quick thing. You know, I knew it wasn't, I didn't think it was to the head. I thought, you know, he hit him somewhere in here. So that, you know, it wasn't a high hit. So thank God for that, because that could have been bad with the force he was hit.
Just a couple other things for
Sure.
me. How do you feel about, you know, now you've avoided the upset that we've seen so many times this year, either 1AA to 1A or non-D1s over D1s?
Just thankful to escape, really. I mean, because there's not a ton of difference, you know, and I thought we could have had our chances to put the dang thing away, and penalties just kept biting us, which is why I think I was so frustrated. Even with a win, you're frustrated to go from hardly any penalties to all these penalties. But anyway, that's something we'll just have to go look at. But we survived it, and there wasn't a ton of difference talent-wise in our two teams, and so. It's basically what, you know, we said going in. We knew they had people. They did. 9 seniors on defense is 9 seniors. I mean, and you just saw them, the way they looked. I mean, those guys look as good as anybody probably will play in our league defensively, or close to it. You know, so, going to get a weight out of.
You alluded here a little bit, the penalties, they got to bug you. Last week it was so pure, almost perfect, and then you get like 4 or 5 holes in the first half, 17 or 18 all in the game. Just speak to that difference.
Just frustration. You know, I have to go back and look at them. You know, obviously it's frustrating, you know, because it killed. I can't tell you how many drives it killed. I mean, I believe we're about to go score a touchdown in overtime, and we got a call. We had one happen right there. I mean, it was just every time we turned around. So, obviously, those are things that we'll have to go back and look at.
And then the other, does it drive you buggy that some weeks it can be so efficient, 600 yards of offense, and then this week you just hardly couldn't get any kind of running game going?
Well, you know, I told our guys on Monday that that's what they've been told. You just set a record. I mean, you reckon they weren't pumped up to play against us? They were going to be. But I think the reality of losing our running, without making an excuse, losing our running back in the penalties, that killed us, you know. So that's something we got to get. Now we have to get everybody well, but it was definitely frustrating. But you know, give them credit too. I mean, obviously they did a good job, and we did some good things. I tell you, the big thing the offense did was, you know, we moved the ball to get the field goal to put us up 18, and then we had 2 really good drives in overtime. I mean, and one of them was following a dead penalty, a holding penalty, and we still took it back down. And like I said, twice we were, whatever that is, close to having a first down, which I believe we stick in. So they had really 2 good drives, a little hamstrung. So I, you know, probably our last 3 drives were really pretty good, you know. So when we needed it, I think they stepped forward.